The WWE SmarkCast. Not a whole lot to talk about, but I will go ahead and warn you that this episode may be very rant-filled. Um, I will cover the Paul Heyman Blu Ray review, of course, because that's really the biggest thing that's come out of WWE in the past few weeks. First off, though, I wanted to clear something up. I've been getting a lot of negative feedback for something I said a few SmarkCasts ago, or the last SmarkCast or something, when I said that I wanted TNA to lose their Spike TV deal. A lot of people have been sending me the gist of the emails is you're not a real wrestling fan if you want a company to fold. Now, here's what I need to clarify. I never once said that I wanted TNA to fold. I never said that. I said I wanted them to lose their Spike deal. I don't want Austin Aries, Samoa Joe, all my favorite guys in TNA to lose their job. That's not what I want, not at all. But and I tried to say this to these people who sent me the emails, and they were like, "Well, without a TV deal, TNA is going to fold," and that is not true at all. There are dozens of wrestling promotions that make money and don't have a TV deal. CZW, PWG, plenty of places that are thriving right now without a TV deal. And to clarify what I mean by I want them to lose their Spike TV deal, and this is all to take a quote from Triple H, best for business. Because honestly, TNA is not best for business. TNA hasn't got above a 1.3 share in the ratings. To put it in perspective, WWE gets roughly 3.5, 3.6. So they get almost triple. Actually, they get triple the viewers of TNA. So TNA gets a 1.3 share, and that is not competition for WWE. And this is where WWE has become complacent. They know that there's nowhere else you can go to get a quality show. So they put on crap. They put on they just don't care. And I don't think TNA is what's best for business. What I think is best for business is for TNA to lose that Spike TV deal. And Spike TV has stated many times that they want wrestling on their network and they want to own a wrestling company. They will never own TNA. But the rumor is that Sinclair Broadcasting, who owns Ring of Honor, is looking to sell, which means that we could have Viacom, who owns Spike TV, and Nickelodeon and MTV, dozens of channels. We could have Viacom buy Ring of Honor, and we have Ring of Honor with Viacom money, which is fantastic. Because I believe if there's one American company that can give WWE a run for its money, it's Ring of Honor. And then we could have a new Monday Night Wars, which means WWE would start trying again, and Ring of Honor would be there just in case. Now, personally, if a Monday Night War happened, I'm sorry, I would quit watching WWE and watch Ring of Honor. Because, to me, Ring of Honor is where it's at right now. And it's just TNA doesn't have that power. TNA has illogical booking, and before you start thinking I'm hating on TNA, the last episode of TNA was actually really good. I was very surprised at how well they did with Red Dragon, or not Red Dragon, with the Wolves versus the Hardys. Fantastic match because they let them go with no screwy finish. So I was very happy with that. But the problem is it's not consistent. They'll have a good show, and then they'll have another good show, and then they'll be back to their normal crap. So, just not best for business. I'm sorry. I'm not a believer in TNA. But this is just my opinion. So I'm sorry if you don't agree with it. TNA, I just want them to lose their deal, and this leads and because I need WWE to quit being so crappy. And it leads me to my second rant, which is WWE being complacent and being genuinely, right now, I do not give a single crap about any feud. I don't even give a crap about Jericho and Bray Wyatt anymore. I did care. I want to see the match, but I don't really care about the feud because it's not as good as I thought it would be. I thought it would be epic promos from Bray versus epic promos from Jericho, and I thought it would just be an excellent, excellent promo war. But it's not. They're not letting them do that. They're having attacks and everything else, and it's just not working for me. Rollins and Ambrose, which is heating up and getting better, I still don't really care. I really want to see that match. That match is going to be epic. It's going to be the best match on the card. I guarantee it will be the best match on the card. I just don't care. I don't care about John Cena and Brock Lesnar. It just, to me, that's a cluster. That's a cluster F right there, man. That whole thing is wrong. So, I mean, WWE really needs to step it up, because right now we have Ring of Honor and NJPW putting on stellar show after stellar show, and WWE has really been just kind of dropping the ball. I mean, it's just really bad right now. We're really in a lull with WWE. It's still an above average show. It's still better than TNA. It's just, I just don't care right now. I don't care about Paige and AJ. I don't care about Stephanie and Brie. There's nothing in there to keep me invested in the show. I actually had to re-watch Raw because I wasn't even paying attention. I was like talking to my wife and watching NJPW and stuff like that, and then I realized I really haven't been watching this Raw, and I had to re-watch it. And that leads me to my review of Raw, or as I call it, Raw for $9.99, which was, wow. If they would have said $9.99 one more time, I would have just changed the channel, because that was really getting on my nerves. I know that they're having trouble with the WWE Network right now. I realize that, but if you don't give us something to care about, why would we buy the WWE Network? You wonder why your buy rates are so low for the WWE Network? It's because you're relying solely on stuff that happened in the past. And this is a huge problem with the WWE. This is a huge problem, because that's their main thing. They always rely on things that happened in the past. Like this upcoming Raw. I really wish they wouldn't focus Raw on Hulk Hogan. I don't care about Hulk Hogan. He stopped wrestling years ago, and there's the rumor is that he wants another match, and he wants a match with Cena, and I just, no, keep him out of the ring. And they're talking about a NWO reunion with Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash, and this is the problem here. This is why WWE is failing right now, is because they're just so focused on the past. You need to start focusing on the future. Quit burying Cesaro. Quit making Ziggler look bad. Quit making Damian Sandow look bad. Just put these guys in a spotlight and give them something, because these are the guys who are going to lead your company into the future. Cena's not going to be around forever. Randy Orton's not going to be around forever. I mean, what are you going to do when Cena gets injured, like Edge, and has to retire? You know, what happens? You know, what do you do? Well, we have Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar. Okay, yeah, but they've been in the main event for years, and it's really, really annoying that they aren't pushing future talent. It's a problem. It's a huge, huge problem. They're pushing Reigns, but the problem is they're pushing him to be another Cena, an unstoppable force that is never going to lose, and that's just not the way you go about it. So they got to start. They really got to start pushing some talent. Rollins, Reigns, Sandow, Ziggler, and just any new talent will do. I mean, just Cesaro is the best thing they have. One of the best things they have right now. Cody Rhodes is probably the most underused person, but Cesaro's getting close to him. Either way, it's just I'm tired of them focusing on the past. They need to put some more stuff in the future. So, the next thing was the opening match. Actually, a positive note here. Roman Reigns versus Kane. Everyone on Twitter was just like, "Oh my God, this match is going to be so terrible." And actually, it was really good. It was amazing, because it was a monster versus a monster. and it worked out. The power moves, everything worked. I mean, Reigns pretty much beat Kane clean, and then Kane took off his mask and handed it over, which I guess we're getting unmasked Kane again, or he's disappearing. I don't know. Really, I don't care. But Reigns is looking strong. That's good. Pushing the talent. All right, and then we got a really good video package from Brock Lesnar and Cena. Brock Lesnar cussing like crazy, and Cena doing his normal he's pro WWE thing. It was a great package. Didn't really make me want to see the match anymore. Didn't really make me care about the feud anymore, because I still have the mentality that this is a lose-lose situation. Because they haven't been building up young talent, and because a lot of people are injured right now, the WWE main event scene is just muddy. It doesn't make sense. And pretty much Brock Lesnar has to win this, because it will hurt the Undertaker's legacy if he loses, and it will legitimize his win against the Undertaker if he wins it. He will probably bring some prestige back to the titles, but the problem is he's part-time, so he won't be at every Raw, which actually may work out, because the less you see of somebody, the more you want to see him. So that may actually work out, but it's just, I mean, it shows a big flaw, a big chink in WWE's armor, that all they have is a part-timer to take it away from Cena. When you could have had Reigns, you could have built up Cesaro, you could have done something. I mean, but this is just a problem, and they showed this video package twice, and the video package is really long, so it took up a lot of time. I calculated it up, and there was less than an hour of actual in-ring activity, which means that more than 2/3 of the show was promos and stuff like that. And this is a major problem in WWE. They care so much about the story and about the pyro and about the promos that they don't really focus on in-ring activity, where you have Ring of Honor and NJPW, who are all about putting on a show, putting on a wrestling show. And you don't get that from WWE. This is why most of their pay-per-views aren't very good, is because you were focusing so much on a promo that no one cares about the match. So anyway, it was just, I'm just a little disgruntled with WWE right now. So, but next we had the first Beat the Clock challenge. It was a Beat the Clock challenge between Rollins and Ambrose. Whoever won got to pick the stipulation, which we had a great match between Del Rio and Ambrose. I was very happy with it. It was technical. It was brawling. They had everything going. So that was a really good match, and it took Ambrose like 15 minutes to beat him. So they had a good 15-minute match, and I really enjoyed it. And then I'll go ahead and skip to it. The main event was RVD versus Rollins. He had to beat the clock, and then Triple H or someone, I forget who, announced, oh, by the way, your opponent's not RVD, it's Heath Slater. And it's like, oh, come on, man. You kept us from getting an RVD Rollins match. Whatever. They kind of made up for it with Ambrose coming out and tearing up the contract and messing with the briefcase and everything else like that. They kind of did a good job with that. And, of course, Heath Slater got the win, which was shocking, and everyone was a little mad about it. But really, if you think about it, that's gold right there. That's something that you would never expect. I called it at the beginning of the match. I said Heath Slater would win in a sneaky way, and he did. And I also called that on SmackDown, Dean Ambrose is going to want a ladder match or a no DQ match for the briefcase. So we'll find out. Actually, we'll technically find out tonight if that's true. So hopefully, I'm thinking it is. It's going to be, I'm thinking a ladder match, because they're going to need something special. But the Rollins Heath Slater match wasn't even really a match. It was mostly just Rollins being distracted by Ambrose, and then him reversing a pin and then beating up on Heath Slater. But Heath Slater ended up getting the win. He lost, so Ambrose won. I thought it was a fun little segment. I thought it was a good segment to push the feud and everything. Like I said, that's pretty much the only feud I really care about, which I don't solely into it, but it's really it's good. I mean, the way they're pushing those two is brilliant, because with those two are the future of the company. Reigns is going to be the poster boy, but those two are the Randy Savage and Ricky Steamboat, the heart of the company, the people who are going to keep you interested in watching. And then Hulk Hogan is just going to be the guy that sells the tickets. Either way. Next we had a match that made me angry. Cesaro versus Ziggler. They didn't let it go long enough. It was like 5 minutes, and Ziggler just basically squashed Cesaro, and that didn't make sense to me. With Cesaro losing, tapping out to Swagger. It's interesting side note, SmackDown. I watched the first 10 minutes of SmackDown, and when Cesaro tapped to Swagger, I changed the channel. Because if that's the way they're going to do Cesaro, have him tap out to Swagger, no. No. He is so far above Swagger that it's almost laughable. And to have him tap out to Swagger, no. I'm not going to watch that. I changed the channel. I didn't even watch SmackDown. Sorry, you lost me. It's stuff like that that makes me want to change the channel. But Ziggler won. I'm cool with Ziggler winning. I hate how he won, how he just basically buried Cesaro. And they're building up towards Ziggler versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title. If WWE is smart, they will give Ziggler the Intercontinental title. But they won't, because Miz has not had the title very long. Miz will retain the title in some way, probably by disqualification. But if they're smart, they'll give Ziggler that title, because that's what the fans want. The fans do not want The Miz. I mean, you have the fans going crazy and like, yay, yay, and then awesome, and then you hear crickets, because no one cares about The Miz. I'm sorry. No one cares about The Miz. Anyway, moving on. Goldust and Stardust versus Ryback squash match. It was just supposed to be their return to the ring. I'm glad they're back in the ring, definitely, because I've been tired of their promos. I'm super glad they're back in the ring, but I wish it wasn't against Ryback, because when they left, they had faced Ryback like 47 times, and then they come back and face him again. I don't know what's going on with that. I'm hoping that they're trying to push Stardust and Goldust up a little bit. I'm still thinking at SummerSlam we're going to get Stardust and Goldust, Ryback, Usos, and maybe the Wyatts in a Four Corners tag match. I was thinking it was going to be Big E and Kofi Kingston, but they weren't even mentioned, and I'm kind of sad about that, because that's actually one thing I am intrigued about. Like, what are they going to do with this? It looks really cool, because I'm looking forward to a heel Kofi and a heel Big E and a heel Xavier Woods. Either way, I'm hoping they get some kind of shine, probably after SummerSlam. Next was Jericho versus Harper. If Jericho won, Luke Harper's not allowed at ringside, just like at SmackDown. Jericho won, so Eric Rowan is not allowed at ringside. And this is brilliant, but it could also be a huge misstep, because if Bray Wyatt loses at SummerSlam now, you have burned Bray Wyatt beyond all repair, because they're just proving that Bray Wyatt needs Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, and that's not a good thing for Bray. Bray is eventually going to break out on his own, and he's going to need to get away from those guys. So you have Jericho beat Harper and Rowan, make sure Bray's all alone, and then everyone needs to start saying, oh, can he win without Harper and Rowan, and have him beat him clean, have him destroy Jericho, and that will build Bray up so much that will probably make Jericho happy, that he could build him up that much. But he won by Bray Wyatt causing a DQ, attacking him, which I thought was great. Because it's like, because that was basically Bray saying, I don't care if I'm alone, I'll still take you out. Just a good thing for him to do. And then he cut a promo a little bit later on, and it was another epic promo. He's got to be king of promos right now, and he writes his own stuff, which is very impressive. Next we had Diego and Fandango. The only thing I wanted to say about this was, please stop. Repackage Fandango, do something, get him off the screen. Never show Diego and that little bull ever again. Tired of it. Bo Dallas and R-Truth, this is a feud I really do not want to see. I'm okay with Bo Dallas and all, but I'm not okay with. I just don't like that R-Truth was the one chosen to defeat Bo Dallas. I'm not okay with that. So, but you know, it is what it is. That's why I guarantee you that's going to be the pre-show match. We're going to get Bo Dallas and R-Truth, and no one's going to tune in. And finally, we had we had RVD and Rollins then after that, but then we had Stephanie and Brie in the contract signing. I hate contract signings because all it is, just write down what it is. It's a brawl. It never. I just once want to see a contract where they sign the contract, shake hands, and walk to the back. I just want to see that one time, just for shock value. But Stephanie and Brie did their things, and Brie talked for the longest time. I mean, it was like 6-7 minutes, and I was just like, please get the mic away from her. Brie has got to be the most terrible actor on that roster. She's so awful. She's highly improved in the ring, and she's actually good in the ring now. But on the mic, wow, it is bad. It's awkward, and then she told some prison joke, and it was really, really bad, and no one got it. No one laughed. No one cheered. And then Stephanie got on the mic and spoke for 3 minutes and absolutely destroyed Brie on the mic, and it was awesome. Then she did a decent pedigree on both of them. I was actually impressed with that pedigree. But this leads to who's going to win at SummerSlam. I really don't know on this one. I kind of think that Stephanie's going to win it by Nikki turning on Brie. That would probably be what would be best. But I just see Brie winning it clean and doing the yes, 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 just to keep Daniel Bryan on everyone's mind. So I think it would be best for Nikki just to turn on her and do that. I think that would be pretty epic. But all in all, honestly, this Raw sucked. It was, well, okay, no, I take that back. It didn't suck. It was just not that great. It was just one giant filler. I did nothing really to care about. It was clearly just a, well, we're going to do this until next week, until the go-home Raw for SummerSlam. This is what you get. So next week should be great because I think Cena and Brock will both be on it, and it'll be a better show, hopefully. And leading us to SummerSlam, which honestly, it looks like it'll be a great card, but I just don't care about anything on it. I'll watch it and everything, but if WWE doesn't start stepping up their game, give me something to care about, I'm probably just gonna quit watching and continue watching NJPW and Ring of Honor. But so there's Raw. Sorry, my dog went crazy. And I did want to end on a positive note, since this whole thing was basically one long negative thing. I did want to end on a positive note, and that is my review of Paul Heyman. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. Came out on Blu Ray today, and I've already watched it. I've already watched the special features. It's beyond epic. CM Punk was my absolute favorite documentary that WWE has done. Best in the World was amazing, followed closely by Triple H, Thy Kingdom Come. Both of them were awesome. And but ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, surpassed both of those by leaps and bounds. 2 hours, a little bit over 2 hours of documentary, and I mean, they pull no punches. It gets heavy at times. He talks everything. He doesn't. It's the realest thing I've ever seen. He doesn't. Even the people who talk about him don't always say nice things. It's very, very, very cool documentary. I enjoyed every minute of it. After the documentary, you have a full disc of extras, which for those of you who know about WWE Blu-rays and DVDs, it's always the best matches of someone's career. Well, there are 3 matches, I think, 2 or 3 matches, but I didn't even watch those. But there are 45 promos, 45 of his best promos, and they're all awesome. They span from WCW, NWA, AWA, you name it, ECW, anything. It's all of his promos, all of his good promos. And then if you get the Blu-ray, you get an extra, I think, 2 or 3 promos, and then the epic Blu Ray extras, which are extras added to the documentary, which are stories from people he's known and stuff, and it's great because they're always funny. The ones on the Blu Ray are always funny. The Blu Ray extras are so worth it. If you have a Blu Ray player, just spend the extra money and get the Blu Ray because it's always worth it. It never fails. Always worth the extra money. But for me, I would say this is easily the best DVD, or DVD, Blu Ray, whatever, the best thing that WWE has come out with ever. And I'd say this is a must buy. Must buy. Even if you don't even like Paul Heyman, just the story alone is worth it. So go out, grab it. It is fantastic. I think it's the next one I'm excited for is they have announced a Macho Man Randy Savage Blu Ray. Very excited about that. Unfortunately, the DVD gets 6 discs and the Blu Ray gets 2. I'm not okay with that. The 6-disc edition of the Randy Savage is disc 1 is the documentary, disc 2 and 3 are the extras, as always. That's the way the DVDs always are. And then you get 3 extra discs of the best matches, the documentary from the 90s, which was fantastic, which is out of print now, and extras for that. So that's 6 discs. I'm hoping they do something for Blu-ray on that. I will get the deluxe edition. Also, you get on the DVD, you get like sunglasses, bandana, and some cool stuff. But I'm hoping they do something for the Blu-ray on that because I will buy that. It'll be the 3rd Blu-ray I've ever bought. I never bought the Triple H Blu-ray. I thought it was fantastic, but I'm not that big of a fan of Triple H. So I own CM Punk's and Paul Heyman's now. I'm hoping they get that Macho Man one out. So once again, buy that DVD or Blu-ray. Buy it. It is fantastic. The best documentary they have come out with easily. If they put as much effort into their program as they do their DVDs and documentaries, WWE would be a much better place. And I did a little research that, for those who don't know, Paul Heyman at one time was the head writer for SmackDown. And because he was talking about in the documentary how his ratings were great when he was head writer. And I did a little research and found out that while Paul Heyman was the head writer of SmackDown, SmackDown was the leading show in the ratings, beating Raw by over 1 million viewers. Just let that sink in, because imagine if Paul Heyman took over head writing for Raw right now, what would happen? Just saying. So, anyway, but that'll be it. If you want to send me some questions, comments, more hate over the TNA thing, I'm sorry, but TNA is just not my thing. I don't like Impact. It does nothing for me. I love the Wolves, I love Low Key, I love Austin Aries, and I love Samoa Joe. And I will DVR TNA, and I will skip everything just to watch their matches. I don't even watch their promos, I watch their matches. Because those guys are all Ring of Honor guys, and when they were in Ring of Honor, it was always epic. I am sorry, I just don't like Impact. Their stories are illogical and don't make sense. Bully Ray gets beat up for 6 weeks by this big gang that comes in, and then suddenly he's their leader. How does that make any sense? No sense whatsoever. Not to mention they have this gang run the show for a year, and it's like, and the ratings are never going up, and they keep them around for a year, and it was like one of the worst things ever. Sorry, but Impact is not for me. Impact 6 years ago was good, but not anymore. Anyway, my email address and my Twitter will be in the description as usual, but just in case, it is smarkcast@gmail.com, and my Twitter is @-Darren. I'll be recording part 2 after this, which those of you who know, my Ring of Honor and NJPW SmarkCast will be after this. So, thank you for watching once again. I am Darren.